the relations go on because my grandmother, late grandmother, is from the Brown family. All right, so that would put me as in relation to Patrick Brown or whatever. And there's not many Browns left. All right, her name was Rosalie Brown, and she died quite a while back in Guelph. That isn't her. But it was quite a while ago in Guelph, and her urn is right here with, it was in 2003, I believe, maybe 2002. Let me see exactly when she died. 2004, actually. April 23rd, 2004. April 23rd. But she was married, and then she was, her name was Perron. She married a Frenchman, John Perron, but she was originally a Brown. And that is, I guess, how I am mixed with that Brown family. They called them, see, because the French were the most dominant. They were the ones that sort of came over here and they dominated Canada or whatever. They had given had given names to ones like Brown and whatnot. All right. So my one grandfather on the one side was a Frenchman, and Rosalie was a Brown. All right, but she married John, and they had several children, like my mother and many others that you know that have even changed their names due to marriage and all that. But she passed away on Friday, April 23rd, 2004, at the Guelph General Hospital. And she was such a generous woman, and she suffered a lot. She suffered from emphysema, but I think something else happened that day because she was doing fine in her unit over in Guelph. She was having a lot of issues. Sometimes I remember one time she ran out of air, and we had to rush her back to the unit to her apartment. And then, but she was on the air machine, so she was suffering quite badly. But there is somebody that's never been checked out that quite possibly could have been in. There could have been a certain situation that happened. All right, but it's documented, which doesn't necessarily mean it's the complete truth, but after a courageous battle over several years with emphysema, loving mother of Patty Hirsch and her husband Lynn of Calgary, John R. Perron of Toronto, that's my grandfather, who's now passed away as well. He was the Frenchman that I was talking about. And they went down to Toronto. And that's where he met her or whatever and yada yada. They were in that old Toronto. Susan Wilson and her husband John of Georgetown, John and Susan Wilson, Valerie Perron Sloat, that's my mother, and her husband John of Florida. That's Angry Father, he calls me sometimes. I haven't seen him in years and years and years. But, and then Michelle Perron, and she used to be of Rockwood. And everybody remembers her in Rockwood, and I do too. She had quite a cool, I don't know what you would call it, a townhome over in Rockwood, multi-level. 3 levels to it, I remember. And that's where she got her dog Autumn, or Audie as many people know. She was the wife of John P. Perron, loved grandmother of Todd and Jolie, Nicholas and Tom, I am Tom. Casey and Tyler. Jade and Aiden. Dear sister of Roy C. Brown of Massachusetts. See, and that is how I obtained, or my father, I'm supposed to be a dual citizen, but that is how my father, oh no, I think my father had a different relation, but that is how my mother obtained dual citizenship, because my grandmother, Rosalie Perron, originally a Brown, family, came from Massachusetts, and then there was also New Mexico. So I'm supposed to be a dual citizen. William Brown of New Brunswick, but I'd rather live in Ontario, but I'm supposed to hold that right of dual citizenship, and I know I will in the future once some of these corrupt ones that have put false allegations on me pass away, because they're getting quite old now. So I know when I'm much older I will retain that citizenship again. William Brown of New Brunswick and Joanne McGuire of Florida. I remember Aunt Joanne. I went down and even visited her in Florida, and I haven't thought of her in a while. And William Brown of New Brunswick, I've been to his property in New Brunswick. When I was younger, I went out to New Brunswick, and I will always remember that blueberry crumble that he gave me right on the ridge there in his house that was looking over the water, and it was out in New Brunswick, and he lived right where there's the water, and it goes back and forth or whatever. The tide goes in and out, and sort of like this, and the tide goes in and out. And I remember walking down. It wasn't this exact area here, I don't think. But I remember that, and then his house was up here, and we sat on the picnic table and had blueberry crumble. Now, I think my mom has thus, or then so, lost family videos. I'm not sure if she still has them, but we used to have lots of family videos. And this must have happened with her sexual deviance that's been going on. She must have lost those videos a long time ago when she got used and abused by some Spanish guys. Rosalie will sadly be missed by her many dear friends and will always be remembered for her kind heart and generosity to everyone she met. And like I said, she was very generous, because I remember she wasn't feeling good, and when I was at her house or her apartment before she died, she would make me grilled cheese. She made me a grilled cheese. She made me a grilled cheese sandwich. And she gave it to me when I was younger, and she was very generous, and I always thought that of her. She will always be with us, and she's with me right now in the urn right behind me. Friends may call at the Gilchrist Chapel, McIntyre and Wilkie Funeral Home. Anyways, I did a lot of crying. This was a while ago, but that is who is related to, and she isn't here. That's somebody else, because I have her urn behind me. But that is how I'm related to Patrick. She looked very similar to Patrick, actually, but a female version. But she was very similar, and we're of direct relation. I'm also related to this guy here, or whatever, through the French side or whatever. But even being related, it's whatever. But I don't know. I don't know what to say. But there's lots of people in Canada, and now I don't know exactly what we are with the Browns. I think it's part Indian, I think it's part Indian. All right, but he carries the green eyes sort of. But I think his eyes change colors. But I think quite that they are part Indian a little bit. They've mixed. He's definitely mixed a little bit. And I carry that brown hair too or whatever, but I'm not sure. But they carry the same last name, and he is the mayor of Brampton. And I've never met him, but I know he's heard of me, and I've heard of him. So, anyways, that pretty much covers some of it on my relation to Patrick. I'd have to do more research. I downloaded that Ancestry or whatever, and but there's that's pretty much what I've kind of learned so far. Who's this? Theodore? That's his child. So you'd have to see, but it goes beyond Patrick. I'm talking about our ancestors or whatever. They wanted to know who I was, but they knew who I was. It's this weird distinction. I look a lot like some other people. So I'm not sure where the native came from or whatever, but I think it must have been, obviously there's all different family trees or whatever out of that same family. So it's a wide branch or whatever. Oh, look at this. Peel Regional posted a picture of Theodore the Tug Boat today too. So everybody was happy to see Theodore today. I think it brightened a lot of people's days or day today.